Chapter 1: A Whisper in the Dark. Naq7 had always been an enigma, a shadow that moved unnoticed through the fabric of society. Those who spoke of him never mentioned his real name. It was as if the world had collectively decided he was only the sum of his actions. He was cunning, calculated, and always a step ahead. But beneath his stoic exterior lay a mind that teetered on the edge of obsession. It began with curiosity, a quiet, insidious pull towards knowing more about others than they ever intended to. Naq7 was a master of subtlety. He learned routines, favorite haunts, even the way people hesitated before crossing a street. Some called it stalking, he called it preparation. For Naq7, knowledge was power, and he wielded it like an artist holding a brush. The first person to notice his gaze lingering too long was Kara, a journalist who had made it her mission to expose corruption in the city. She dismissed the odd feeling at first, but as the days turned into weeks, she couldn't ignore the sensation of being watched. Her friends told her it was paranoia. After all, what reason would anyone have to follow her? Naq7 had his reasons, though. Kara's articles had ruffled feathers in high places, and Naq7 employers weren't pleased. He was their solution, a problem solver with methods that left no trace. Yet, he never sought to harm her, not at first. His game was about control, ensuring she understood how vulnerable she truly was. Chapter 2: The First Line Crossed. It wasn't until a cold winter evening that Naq7 actions escalated. Kara had written a particularly damning piece, exposing a web of deceit that stretched into the city's elite. The fallout was immediate, and Naq7 employers demanded retribution. Naq7 followed her to an underground car park, his footsteps silent as he blended into the dimly lit expanse. Kara's phone buzzed, a distraction that gave Naq7 the moment he needed. He left a note on her. "Sorry, that was my fault. But anyways, Kara, no threats, just a simple message. Be careful what you dig for." The note was a warning, but its implications were clear. Kara reported it to the authorities, but without evidence or witnesses, it was brushed off as a prank. Naq7 knew this would be the outcome. It was all part of his plan, a psychological game that would chip away at her confidence. Chapter 3: Edges of Darkness. As weeks passed, Naq7's presence became more invasive. He manipulated the locks on Kara's flat, leaving them slightly ajar to unsettle her. He rearranged items on her desk at work, subtle enough to make her question her memory. These weren't acts of violence, but control, each one carefully orchestrated to make her doubt herself. But Naq7's methods weren't without consequence. The more he pushed, the more cracks appeared in his calculated exterior. His actions began to haunt him, the weight of his choices seeping into his dreams. He wasn't invincible, and he knew it. The turning point came when one of Kara's colleagues, a man named Ali, noticed the changes in her behavior. Ali was sharp, with a knack for reading people, and he wasn't about to let Kara face her fears alone. Together, they started piecing together the strange occurrences, and Ali's determination made him a new target for Naq7. Chapter 4: The Thin Line. Chapter 4: The Thin Line. Their confrontation was brief but intense. Naq7's usual composure faltered as Ali called him out, accusing him of hiding behind shadows. It was the first time anyone had directly challenged Naq7, and it shook him. For a moment, he considered walking away, leaving his mission unfinished. But the pull of his employers and his own obsessive nature wouldn't allow it. Chapter 5: The Consequences. The story of Naq7 doesn't end with a grand climax or a dramatic arrest. Instead, it unravels slowly, like a thread pulled from a tightly woven fabric. Kara and Ali's persistence brought light to Naq7's actions, forcing him into hiding. His employers disowned him, unwilling to risk their own exposure. Naq7 became a ghost, his name whispered in fear but never seen again. For Kara and Ali, the scars of his actions lingered, a reminder of the fragility of safety. But they also found strength in their survival, turning their fear into resilience. As for Naq7, his story serves as a cautionary tale. His brilliance and cunning were undeniable, but his choices led him down a path of isolation and regret. In the end, he was a man undone by his own shadow. Thank you for listening to The Shadow of Naq7. We hope this tale of intrigue, obsession, and the thin line between control and chaos has captured your imagination. Stories like this remind us of the power of resilience, importance of vigilance, and the weight of our choices. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please consider leaving a review or sharing it with others who love suspenseful tales. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember, every shadow has a story.